last year. Skip, come on up.
Thank you very much.
So members of Virginia's environmental community nominate candidates who are judged on the basis of their vision, expertise, commitment, integrity, communication skills, accomplishments, and diplomacy. So Skip's going to explain the process, and when he's done, we'll announce the awards.
Thank you, Colonel. From the nominations we received for the 2022 Erchul Environmental Leadership Award, our program advisory committee narrowed that down to a few finalists. The finalists were then sent to the past winners and of the award, and this year's recipient was selected. We want to thank all the individuals who took the time to nominate people for this award. We have a talented group of environmental leaders that we had to work through this year, and a number of times we heard people saying how difficult it was to select this year's winner. So with that, I will turn it back over to you.
And this year's winner of the 2022 Ron Erchul Environmental Leadership Award is Miss Bettina K. Ring. Of the environmental community, the superintendent, cadets, and staff and faculty at BMI, we would like to award you the Ron Erchul Environmental Leadership Award. Well earned and deserved. Thanks. So I'm going to ask Skip to please read the nominations so you can see just how impressive, those of you who may not be familiar with Bettina's work, but see how impressive of a career she's had.
Thank you. Bettina Ring is an innovative and thoughtful leader with over 30 years of expertise in public sector and nonprofit management, natural resources management, land and water conservation, agriculture and food systems, rural economic development, and public policy. Long sentence, long list of accomplishments. During a very impressive career, Bettina has served as Virginia's 4th Secretary of Agriculture and Forestry, as State Forester, head of the Virginia Department of Forestry, Deputy State Forester, Senior Vice President at American Forest Foundation, and in leadership roles with several other nonprofits. She's currently the Chief Sustainability and Diversity Officer for Sustainable Forestry Initiative. She's been involved in Virginia Department of Forestry water quality efforts since early in her career, worked on the Healthy Forested Watershed Project, and served on the Chesapeake Bay Principal Staff Committee over the last 4 years. In addition to her trade missions and promotion of Virginia's #1 and #3 industries, she also worked with former Governor Northam and the General Assembly to increase funding for agricultural best management practices, gaining new positions for riparian buffers and watershed protection, and most recently, proposed funding for reopening the New Kent Forestry Center to expand seedling capacity in the state. She initiated Trees for Clean Water and urban tree canopy programs, establishing the first ever state funding for urban and community forestry and land conservation, including farmland preservation funding specifically designed to address heirs property issues. She took an active role working with UVA's Institute for Environment and Negotiation to put on the Governor's Summit on Equitable Collaboration. Secretary Ring is a leader worthy of being named for this year's Erchul Award.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you, Colonel Gray. Thank you for presenting me with this award. It's great to be with all of you again today. To say that I'm honored to be this year's recipient of this award is an understatement. To have been nominated by someone who I have the highest level of respect and admiration for, Joe Maroon, the executive director of the Virginia Environmental Endowment, means the world to me. We miss having him with us today, but we know the impact that Joe continues to have. I'm grateful and humbled to have been nominated by Joe and to have been selected by previous award winners, many of you who are with us today. You all have inspired me over the years. I remember coming to the symposium over the years wondering, oh, who's going to receive the award this year, and being so impressed and watching you throughout your careers. I know how competitive this award is, and I recognize that all recipients are deserving of this award, and I feel, again, fortunate to be standing in your presence. In addition to receiving this award, I'd like to thank VMI for making a donation to the Virginia Natural Resources Leadership Institute on my behalf. For those who do not know, VNERLI, it's in its 22nd year, I think that's correct. And they move forward in addressing, it's a professional development program for leaders confronted with Virginia's most pressing natural resource and environmental issues, and help these individuals, these leaders, who seek new skills in conflict resolution and collaborative problem solving. If you want to know more about VNERLI, see Tanya Dinkler-Cobb, who's in the audience. For those that know me, I'm a big believer in relationships, partnerships, and collaboration. It's the core of who I am and how I approach my work. And I know it may drive some crazy at times. Poor Rob Farrell, state forester, had to do quite a bit of extra work because of those partnerships and relationships, but it's so, so important. And I've had the good fortune to have been able to work with so many incredible individuals throughout my career, and incredible organizations that I either worked for or worked with and in collaboration with. There are too many to name here, but a number of you are in the audience today. And many of you I had breakfast with this morning as the Women in Natural Resources and Environmental Leaders gathered, the wine group. It's always good for us to be back together again. And there are a number who are no longer with us today, but I stand on their shoulders. I'm grateful for all that all of you do, and I consider myself very lucky to be able to call you companions and friends. In closing, I'd like to thank the Colonel for acknowledging the former VMI professor who made all this happen. When you think about this symposium, how it was founded, who this award was honored, named after, when you think about the VMI staff and the partner organizations who have continued this important gathering for so long, since his retirement and his passing, when you think about Colonel Gray, Major Kim Connolly, Justin, and others at VMI who didn't give up on that, who kept it moving forward, those of you that helped with the organization and planning of this symposium. And if you think about the many partnerships that have been established or expanded from coming to this very symposium, the networking that takes place for 32 years now, and the really humble beginnings of the symposium many years ago. The participants have grown from getting to know each other, and the relationships that have continued beyond this symposium. What has taken place that's made our environment in Virginia a better place. It's made us as individuals, better leaders, and better human beings. And so when you think about the impact it's had on our environment and our natural resources, our farmland and our forest land across the Commonwealth, which I've been able to have a small part in, his vision, he was committed to. He believed in that vision. He was committed to making that vision a reality, and he stayed with it. May we all aspire to have that long-lasting impact. May we all aspire to believe in our own personal and our organizational visions, and to work hard and develop deeper relationships to make sure those visions become a reality, so that we'll continue to work collaboratively to make sure that this great Commonwealth, our nation and our world, is a more inclusive and a better place to live, work, and play. Thank you again. I'm very honored.
Hope to get you and Skip come on out here, get one more photo. Thank you. One last round of applause for Mr. King. So again, we are very honored at VMI to give that $1,500 donation to Virginia Natural Resources Leadership Institute. So ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get underway at 10 o'clock with another round of panels, sessions G and H. That'll be followed by lunch. We want you to go home with a full stomach. Want you to be careful going home. The weather's getting a little bit nasty out there, but you're going to get a survey, and I'd ask for your input. Your input is very valuable to us as we plan next year's conference. It's been a great conference so far. Enjoy the rest of it, and we look to see you at the 33rd Annual Environment Virginia Symposium next year. Thanks very much for coming this year.